And welcome back. Governor Cuomo has put it on the fast track, adding a third track to the LIRR. Frustrated commuters would love it since many delays are caused by having only two tracks that can be easily blocked by a stalled train. The MTA is rolling out a big campaign to support this expansion, with construction promised by as early as next year. But local communities are not buying the promise that they will not be severely impacted by the construction or the loss of real estate. Every day, more than 100,000 commuters travel between Floral Park and Hicksville in Nassau County. Besides crowded trains and platforms, there are long delays anytime there's a problem because there are only two tracks, a situation Governor Cuomo is determined to change.
Today there is a new plan to add a third track between Hicksville and Floral Park.
At this public hearing in New Hyde Park, the MTA tried to persuade residents in affected communities to get on board with the proposal, but most say they first want to know what impact the massive 3 to 4 years of construction will have on daily life.
Which streets will be closed and for how long? The rerouting of buses, cars, and children walking to school will be a logistical nightmare. What will be the access for emergency vehicles?
To offset the construction hassle, the MTA is proposing to eliminate 7 railroad crossings residents have long complained are dangerous and routinely back up traffic. Some of the options include lowering the roadway and raising the tracks above it, or completely closing the grade crossing to traffic and building a pedestrian bridge. The MTA says it can do all this within railroad property without touching homes and at most 10 bordering commercial properties.
I sincerely appreciate the efforts of the governor, the MTA, and the local leaders to advocate for this most important project. Thank you.
Boos rang out for anyone who supported the plan, with Floral Park's mayor leading the opposition.
We're the gateway to Long Island, and we're just concerned that we'll bear all the burden and derive none of the benefit.
Mayor Tweedy says the village is retaining a law firm for possible legal action. And joining us right now is Mayor Thomas Tweedy from Floral Park, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So right there, you retained the law firm. Will you sue?
Well, we really haven't gotten much further than January when we first saw the project was announced. Ourselves in Garden City have retained counsel, and we're just waiting to see the draft environmental impact statement.
What would be the legal basis for suing?
Again, it would depend on what is presented by the MTA LIRR at that time, and I'll leave the legal to the legal.
Well, they are really putting on, you know, they're rolling out everything and putting the pressure on everywhere they can to build support for this.
They are, and again, no amount of press releases or special agencies are going to force or change the fact that the justification for this project, we don't believe that threshold has been met.
Well, explain again why you think it's so bad for Floral Park.
Well, the impact of Floral Park. In 1962, Floral Park already went through grade crossing eliminations. They elevated the station, and we have 16 tracks that go through at 4 different grade crossings that were elevated. So at that time, it took many years to do the work. Dozens of homes were taken. Dozens of businesses, buildings were taken, and it took 15 years to recover from that.
So
work.
You went through this before.
We did.
But now the governor is saying that's not going to happen this time. It's going to have very little impact. They'll make any possible adjustments to shield schools, to make sure there's enough parking or that no nearby structures like pools are affected. Isn't that enough?
Well, again, we would say let's see the plan. I mean, there are a lot of plaudits being said about it, but there are no specifics. They keep coming and say we're having the most transparent process possible. Well, it's not my job to develop your plan. It's yours to design it.
You know, what do your constituents tell you, first off? Let me ask you that.
Well, the first thing, again, we've been speaking to the justification of it. Presently, the Long Island Railroad, the third track 10 years ago was defeated, publicly debated and defeated. And now we're looking at a new justification that came out from President Nowakowski, the president of the Long Island Railroad, that gives incremental and less onerous impacts that would allow exactly what needs to be done on the third track main line. We still believe, without some of the improvements by President Nowakowski's plan, that the third track will still cause the same problems doing now.
And he's the president of the Long Island Railroad. So, you know, there are going to be lots of folks who don't live in Floral Park or the nearby communities who sit on Long Island Railroad trains every day, frustrated. Well, not every day, that's not fair. But when there are these delays, and they would look at you as basically standing in the way of progress.
Well, then, let's see the data on exactly that, Richard. The Long Island Railroad recently came out and 93% of their trains are on time. So does the data justify billions of dollars to be spent, and the impacts it will have on the Western Nassau communities. We've asked, what are the benefits to Floral Park and all the Western mainline communities?
Well, isn't there sometimes loss of income for businesses even in your community when the railroad is backed up?
As I said, it took 50... well, the railroad on the main line doesn't affect us. We're the Hempstead branch of Floral Park, which we're concerned about, and we've been asking since the beginning, will the Hempstead branch become a single-track operation? Because the third track is the Hempstead westbound track. So
communities like yours, though, are basically telling commuters who are frustrated with the way it's been for years, sorry, no go. This is not the solution.
Well, again, Floral Park has done its fair share in the course of time. As I said, we did the grade crossings, which allowed Long Island to be developed. Now we have to ask those communities out in eastern Nassau County to accept Nowakowski's plan. They already have putting a second track around Concomar. They need to put rail yards out.
What do you fear will happen even with this plan where they're making promises that it wouldn't have any impact? What is it you're worried will happen?
Well, first off, how is it being paid for? What if it begins and in the middle of the project the Long Island Railroad has to suspend construction and then seek additional funds?
And then you're stuck with a half.
It's devastating. The impact, we'd be filled with an uncompleted project.
And it's a built-out community.
This is going through some of the most densely populated and mature communities in western Nassau County.
So I think everyone knows there will be some impact. There's no way to have a project this big without some impact. But, you know, they're trying to find a way to make a deal so that we can move into the 21st century.
Well, but Floral Park isn't opposed to what needs to be done. Nowakowski's plan speaks to high-speed switchings, to high-speed signals. Infrastructure is more than new. Infrastructure is building what's broken. And you and I both know, going into Penn Station, we never really have a problem east of Jamaica. It's getting into Penn Station where we have the signal problems.
Well, now, has there been any sort of discussion, anybody reached out from the governor's office to say, well, what do you think are going to be the effects, and maybe there could be money somehow set aside in this project to mitigate those effects to communities? And do you think that that should be done?
Well,
would that make a difference in your support?
You mean in terms of like goodies? No, goodies.
Well, I guess, yeah,
goodies are not, what we're talking about is mitigation. We need to see the plan. We need to see how access to our community for our first responders, for our police, for our fire department, and access to our schools by our school children. We have, again, as I said, they would have to put in 3 additional bridges in Floral Park, as well as a wall that would make Donald Trump proud. How is this going to be built?
Well, now, you know, what about the carrot that they've extended, though, that they would remove some of these crossings where, you know, it would be pedestrians would be able to walk around and probably improve the traffic flow and safety?
Well, none of those would be in Floral Park. 10 years ago, we agreed with that. And when we sat with the governor said that safety was the reason this was being done. He put the truth to the lie that was a reverse commute. He said this was a safety. We agree with him. For 30 years, we've been looking for grade crossing eliminations to be done. But to link third track with the grade crossing eliminations, we'd like to uncouple that. We don't think that's fair coupling.
About 15 seconds. Sure. So what's the next move for your village?
Well, the next move, of course, is we'll wait to see what the draft environmental impact statement is. But again, our cooperation should not be considered consent.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor Thomas Tweedy. We have offered several representatives from the Long Island Railroad and from organizations supporting this project onto the show. Hopefully, we'll get someone to come on and speak for them as well. But we have to go now. Thank you very much.
Sure, I'll be happy to come on again. Thanks for having me.
Maybe we will. And we'll be right back.